Dear students, আজিৰ ভিডিঅ'ত আমি আলোচনা কৰিম দহম শ্ৰেণীৰ সাপ্লিমেণ্টাৰী ৰিডাৰৰ এ কুৱেশ্যন অফ ট্ৰাষ্ট নামৰ যিটো চেপ্টাৰ আছে সেই চেপ্টাৰৰ টেক্সচুৱেল আৰু এডিশ্যনেল যিবিলাক কুৱেশ্যন পৰীক্ষাত অহাৰ সম্ভাৱনা আছে আৰু প্ৰিভিয়াছ ইয়াৰ্ছত যিবিলাক কুৱেশ্যনছ আহিছে সেই আটাইবিলাক সমাধানৰ সৈতে তোমালোকলৈ আগবঢ়াইছোঁ। তোমালোক সকলোৱে ভিডিঅ'টি শেষলৈ চাবা আৰু ইয়াৰ পৰা এনচাৰবিলাক লিখি লৈ শিকিবা। ইয়াৰ উপৰিও কিছুমান MCQ সন্নিবিষ্ট কৰি দিয়া হৈছে যিবোৰ MCQ সচৰাচৰ পৰীক্ষাত আহি থাকে। গতিকে কোনেও স্কিপ নকৰিবা আৰু যদি চেনেলটোলৈ নতুন আহিছা তেতিয়াহ'লে ছাবস্ক্ৰাইব কৰি দিবলৈ নাপাহৰিবা। এইখিনিতে আৰু এটি বিশেষ ঘোষণা, যিসকলে চেনেলটো ছাবস্ক্ৰাইব কৰিছা আৰু তোমালোকৰ অৱদানৰ বাবেই আজি 6000 কমপ্লিট হৈছে আজি ছাবস্ক্ৰাইবাৰ। গতিকে সকলোলৈ ধন্যবাদ। প্ৰত্যেকজন ছাত্ৰ ছাত্ৰীক যিসকলে চেনেলটোৰ লগত জড়িত হৈ আছে তোমালোক সকলোলৈ মোৰ ফালৰ পৰা আন্তৰিক ধন্যবাদ থাকিল আৰু ভৱিষ্যত জীৱনৰ উজ্জ্বল কামনাৰ শুভেচ্ছা থাকিল। এতিয়া বোলা ভিডিঅ'টি ষ্টাৰ্ট কৰোঁ। ফাৰ্ষ্ট কুৱেশ্যনটো দিছে, হোৱাট ডাজ হৰেছ ডানবি লাইক টু কালেক্ট? এনচাৰ, Horace Dunby liked to collect rare and expensive books. Next question, why does he steal every year? Answer, he was fond of collecting expensive and rare books, but he was not rich enough to fund his wish. Steals every year so that he can spend the whole year happily. Next question, who is speaking to Horace Dunby? Answer, the lady who dressed in red and young and beautiful is speaking to Horace Dunby. Next, who is the real culprit in the story? Answer, the lady who dressed in red is the real culprit in the story. Tarbisot thinking about the text of the essay. Did you begin to suspect before the end of the story that the lady was not the person Horace Dunby took her to be? If so, at what point did you realize this and how? Answer, in the beginning the lady was beyond suspect, but when she behaved strangely and said she liked the wrong kind of people, she came under suspension. She said that she is the wife of the owner of that house. A house owner never behaves like when they see a thief in their house. She told him that she had come there suddenly because she wanted her jewels to wear at the party in the night. Next question this is Padvitik. What are the subtle ways in which the lady manages to deceive Horace Dunby into thinking she is the lady of the house? Why does Horace suspect that something is wrong? Answer, the steadiness in her voice, her way of dressing, the way she walks to the fireplace and arrange the things, her way of petting to the dog Sherry, this was enough to deceive Horace, and in fear he lost his conscience and failed to suspect that something might be wrong with her. Question number 3 this is, Horace Dunby was a good and respectable but not completely honest. Why do you think this description is apt for Horace? Why can't he be categorized as a typical thief? Answer, Horace Dunby enjoys a good reputation of being a good and responsible citizen in the society. Though he maintains a good reputation, he is really not honest. He steals every year a safe to buy rare and expensive books. He covers his stealing under his profession of making locks. So, due to these reasons, Horace Dunby cannot be categorized as a typical thief. Next question. Horace Dunby was a meticulous planner, but still he faltered. Where did he go wrong and why? Answer, Horace Dunby was a meticulous planner. One day he prepared for the robbery at Shotover Grange by studying the house, the electric wire, pots and garden. He knew that the family normally lived in the city. As he prepared to rob, a woman entered the drawing room. The house dog was also with him. They called it by its name. He was completely deceived by the lady he met at the house. He was outdone by her. To convince him further, the woman threatened him to call the police. She regulated her tone and voice according to the situation. This was enough to scare Horace. Out of fear, he lost his sanity and failed to suspect that something might be wrong with him. এই কুৱেশ্যনটো তোমালোকে ভালকৈ শিকিবা। এইটো পৰীক্ষাত আগে পিছে বহুতবাৰ আহিছে আৰু অহাৰ সম্ভাৱনা আছে। তাৰ পিছৰ কুৱেশ্যনটো হৈছে, Do you think Horace Dunby was unfairly punished or that he deserved what he got? Answer. Horace was not unfairly punished. Horace Dunby deserves what he got, because after all, he was a thief who robbed people once a year. Although he was imprisoned for someone else's crime that time, thus his past caught up with him and he was forced to pay the price for all of his previous robberies. নেক্সট কুৱেশ্যন দিছে, এইটো চাবা, এইটো ইমান ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট কুৱেশ্যন নহয়। এডিশ্যনেল কুৱেশ্যনবিলাক চোৱা। এই কুৱেশ্যনটো এতিয়া যিটো মই পঢ়ি আছোঁ এইটো তোমালোকে লিখিবা, শিকিবা, এইটো ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট আছে। হাউ ডিড দ্য য়ং লেডি ট্ৰিক হৰেছ ডানবি? অৰ হোৱাট লেড হৰেছ ডানবি টু ব্ৰেক অপেন দ্য চেফ কণ্টেইনিং জুৱেলাৰী এট শ্ব'টোভাৰ গ্ৰেঞ্জ? এনচাৰ. Horace Dunby was good and respectable but not completely honest. He was about 50 years old and unmarried. Originally, Horace Dunby was a locksmith. He was not an ordinary thief. After the theft, he used the money to collect books. One day, he prepared for the robbery at Shotover Grange by studying the house, the electric wiring, pots and garden. He knew that the family normally lived in the city. As he prepared to rob, a woman entered the drawing room. The house dog was also with him. They called it by its name. He was completely deceived by the lady he met at the house. He was outdone by her. To convince him further, the woman threatened him to call the police. She regulated her tone and voice according to the situation. This was enough to scare Horace. Out of fear, he lost his sanity and failed to suspect that something might be wrong with him. Next question. Who is Horace Dunby? What type of a man was he? এইটো আগতে পৰীক্ষাত আহিছে, তোমালোকে চাবা। Horace Dunby was a good person. He was 50 years old but still unmarried. Horace Dunby was a locksmith. He lived with a housekeeper who worried over his health. He had 2 assistants to help him, being good and respectable, but he was not totally honest. He was fond of rare and expensive books. Though Horace Dunby could be considered as a good and respectable citizen, he was not completely honest. It was because he committed theft once in a year, as he liked to collect rare and expensive books. Still, he cannot be considered as a typical thief because he stole only from the rich houses. He robbed the safe only once in a year. Before making a theft, he chucked out a plan well. Horace Dunby believed that there is honor among the thieves. This time he had observed the house at Shotover Grange for 2 weeks. He studied even the minute things about that house. Next question. How did Horace Dunby become an assistant librarian in the prison? এইটো কুৱেশ্যন বহুতবাৰ আহিছে, তোমালোকে চাবা। Answer. Horace Dunby was a good and respectable citizen but was not completely honest. He used to steal every year because he was fond of rare and expensive books. He made a proper plan before every robbery and then executed it in an expert way. He was tricked by a young lady at the time of Shotover robbery and opened the jewelry safe for the lady without wearing gloves. The handprint remained in the safe. As a result, he was caught by the police. He became an assistant librarian in prison as he used to steal money only to buy books, and he steals from rich people and he steals only once in a year. This was how he became an assistant librarian in a prison. ইয়াত কিছুমান MCQ দিয়া হৈছে চোৱা. By profession Horace Danby was অপশ্যন 4টাৰ ভিতৰত 1 নম্বৰটো শুদ্ধ লকস্মিথ. Number 2, how old was Horace Danby was? এইটোত 4টা অপশ্যন দিয়া আছে চোৱা. অপশ্যন 4 শুদ্ধ 50 years. MCQ কেইটা তোমালোকে ভালকৈ চাবা. আটাইকেইটা MCQ পঢ়ি দিয়া নহ'ল, তোমালোকে ভালকৈ চাই ল'বা. ইয়াৰ পৰাই কিন্তু তোমালোকৰ পৰীক্ষাত MCQ অহাৰ সম্ভাৱনা আছে. Number 6 চোৱা. তাৰপিছত 7, 8, Number 10, তাৰপিছত 11ত যিটো কুৱেশ্যন দিয়া হৈছে এইটো এনসাৰ আগতেও তোমালোকক দিয়া হৈছে, কিমান ধৰণে আহিব পাৰে বা পৰীক্ষাত আহিছে সেইটো ইয়াত দেখুৱাই দিয়া হৈছে. তোমালোক সকলোৱে লিখি লৈ শিকিবা. এইটো চোৱা, এইটো ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট কুৱেশ্যন, কিন্তু তোমালোকে ভালকৈ চাবই লাগিব. এইটো এনসাৰ তোমালোকে লিখি ল'বা. তাৰপিছত এইটো কুৱেশ্যন মোষ্ট ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট, এইটো এবাৰৰ সমূহীয়া পৰীক্ষাত অহাৰ পূৰ্ণ সম্ভাৱনা আছে, তোমালোকে চাবাই. এই কুৱেশ্যনটো এইটো লাগিবই, মানে ফাইনেলত, প্ৰি ফাইনেলত বা হাফ ইয়াৰলিত এই কুৱেশ্যনটো বহুত বেছি জৰুৰী. এইটো কুৱেশ্যন তোমালোকে চাই লিখি ল'বা. এনসাৰটো ইয়াত ধুনীয়াকৈ লিখি দিয়া হৈছে, তোমালোকে মাত্ৰ শিকিলেই হ'ল, কোনো সমস্যা নাই, নম্বৰবোৰ মাত্ৰ পাই থাকিবা. তাৰপিছত এইটো কুৱেশ্যন 2018ত আহিছে, এইটো তোমালোকে চাব পাৰা, পৰীক্ষাত অহাৰ সম্ভাৱনা আছে. এই চেপ্টাৰৰ পৰা ইমানখিনি কুৱেশ্যন তোমালোকলৈ আগবঢ়োৱা হৈছে. তোমালোক সকলোৱে ভালকৈ পঢ়ি ভাল নম্বৰ পোৱা তাকে কামনা কৰিলোঁ. নেক্সট ভিডিঅ'ত আকৌ লগ পাম. আজিলৈ ইমানখিনি, ধন্যবাদ.